Hello everybody, it's me. Today we're going to talk about an old-school adventure game, the 2D side-scroller Zelda, the Minish Cap. This is the first title to take place in the Zelda timeline, and it will be our first Legend of Zelda speedrun. So here's how the story goes. One day in Hyrule, Princess Zelda invited Link to a festival, and Link thought, finally, a date that doesn't involve monsters. Spoiler, it did. During the event, the evil wind sorcerer Vati showed up, yes, him again, and turned Princess Zelda into stone. Talk about ruining someone's weekend. To fix this, Link was told to seek help from the Minish, tiny people who live in the world but are too small for most to see. Basically, microscopic roommates. And guiding him? A talking hat named Eslo. Imagine your baseball cap suddenly roasting you every 5 minutes. Legend has it that the Minish were once great heroes who saved Hyrule long ago, but now they just hang out in Link's hat like an annoying little guild. He could call for them at will, and they would ride on his shoulder to help him on his quest. However, their true potential could only be unlocked by the legendary Picori blade, a mysterious sword fragment lost to time. Now, this blade had been passed down to 4 different heroes who used it to protect Hyrule. But before it was scattered across the land, which Link needed to find in order to restore the princess. But first, he had to reach Minish size, so Eslo gave Link the power to shrink down to Minish size. One moment, he's regular Link. The next moment, he's small enough to get bullied by ants. Yeah, you heard right. This hero, who previously had defeated evil wizards and dragons, was now having trouble dodging falling acorns. But as Link explored Hyrule from a whole new perspective, he realised there was more than one way to defeat an enemy. He could roll up into a ball and attack as a tiny ball of rage, or use his shield as a frisbee to take out a monster from afar. No longer just a warrior, Link had become the hero of tiny problems. Our hero made his way through 4 dungeons filled with tons of tricks and traps, fighting against enemies way bigger than him. And I mean way bigger. Each level got tougher and tougher. The stakes got higher and higher, and I spent way too much time trying to get rupees so I could afford to continue when I ran out of hearts. Speaking of rupees, if you want to save money and get premium subscriptions at the lowest price, now back to the show. Throughout his adventure, Link met interesting characters and creatures both big and small, each with their own unique stories and secrets. There was a giant bird who wanted to race Link, a greedy walrus who tried to steal his rupees, a grumpy old man who didn't seem to mind getting hit by a runaway train, and a mysterious purple frog who just kept repeating the same line over and over again. Now, if any of these characters sound familiar, it's because some of them will later appear in The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. That's a nice little nod to the past, isn't it? During his travels, Link also collected magical elements from each dungeon to reforge the legendary Picori blade. These included the essence of a powerful red beetle, the feather of a giant bird, and the scales of a fearsome fish monster. And guiding him on this task was Eslo, the talking hat. Think of Eslo as that backseat driver you have in your head permanently. He kept giving life advice no one asked for. Whenever Link entered a room with an enemy, Eslo would yell, "Beware of the danger ahead." Thanks, Eslo. We could also sense danger, but thanks for the tip. The closer Link got to defeating Vati, the more cryptic Eslo became, dropping hints about the prophecy and the true nature of Link's quest. But sometimes he was just plain annoying. After Link defused a bomb, Eslo said, "Sometimes the greatest strength comes from within." I'll try not to think about that too hard. Finally, after collecting all 4 fragments, Link successfully reforged the Picori blade. With its power, he sliced the Gorons and defeated the Wall of Evil, freeing the Great Deku Tree. Next, he confronted the imps inside Jabu Jabu's ear, restoring the happy memories trapped inside. Then he faced off against the sorcerer Twinrova in the Shadow Temple, with her own magic, and finally he entered the Forbidden Sea to take on the monstrous Helmarok King. Each battle pushed Link to his limits, testing his skills and determination. But with the support of his new friends and the guidance of the Minish, he persevered through each challenge. But then came the toughest fight of all, facing the final boss. Yes, that's right, Vati himself. Link raced against time to find Zelda before she faded away completely. To do this, he had to make his way through the wind sorcerer's lair, dodging deadly traps and battling his minions. Finally, Link confronted Vati in his true form. The battle was tough. Vati was a powerful opponent who used dark magic and illusions to try and defeat Link. Magical blasts everywhere, but Link fought back bravely. He slashed and parried, dodging spells and returning attacks. The two duelled across the floating platforms. The fate of Hyrule hung in the balance. Link was exhausted but refused to give up. He had come too far to turn back now. Finally, with a well-timed attack, Link struck the final blow, shattering Vati's dark magic and ending his reign of terror. The curse was broken. Zelda was free, and peace returned to Hyrule. In the end, it was a tale of courage, friendship, and the power of believing in yourself. Even when you're shrunk down to the size of a bug, Link proved that even the smallest hero can make a difference. Okay, true to form, the very last thing Eslo says is, "Looks like you got guts, kid. Maybe someday you'll be a hero." Guess it's true what they say. If you don't want your hat to talk to you anymore, you have to take it off. That was a really fun game to replay. I almost forgot how great it was. And to think this was the game that started it all. The events of Minish Cap would serve as a foundation for the entire Zelda timeline, setting in motion the events that would unfold in future games. Like, seriously, you can go back and see some of the characters in Breath of the Wild. I guess some things never change, huh? Despite being the first installment, the Minish Cap managed to capture the essence of what makes the Zelda series so great. The charming graphics, the catchy music, the engaging gameplay. But it also laid the groundwork for the rich lore and complex characters that would become staples of the franchise. It's funny how such an early game could have such a profound impact. It reminds me of how sometimes the simplest beginnings can lead to the most epic journeys. In fact, just like Link's adventure, our journey of bringing you guys game summaries is also full of challenges and surprises. But we wouldn't be here without the support of our awesome community. So thank you for being part of this crazy adventure. We couldn't have done it without you. So here's to the next chapter in our journey. What games should we cover next? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to join our amazing community, click the subscribe button. Don't forget to follow for more updates. And remember, you can also support us directly.